Hi everyone, my name is Anna Maria Bermeo and I'm going to share a brief visual tour of the teen spaces within the Harbor City Harbor Gateway Library. I will be discussing collections and displays as well as study spaces and places to socialize, as these are all important aspects in teen space within a library. Here is a look into the lobby where library patrons walk through and see displays in order to get into the main area of the library. As you can see in the next slide, teens have been designated just the small right portion of this display. Usually it holds teen announcements to programs and services, but this was taken last week when the library was celebrating Latino Heritage Month. Moving on, as you walk through the library, the first teen area that you encounter is the classics and literature section that's shared with the comics and graphic novels. The comics and graphic novels are actually split into two areas, not on purpose. Actually, it was on accident. There was a YA librarian a few months ago who was working really hard to transform the teen area, and she was moving the comics into different areas that were more accessible for teens, but she was transferred to a different library before she could finish. So you will find the graphic novels in two areas, and teens usually have a hard time looking for them, even though this is actually a great display for them because they hang out in the study room, which is the glass on the side, on the left side. That's actually a study room where they hang out a lot. So this is a great area for the teens. Moving on, once you turn the corner around from the study room, you'll go into the teen fiction section where you can find all their favorite novels as well as anything new that has to relate to teens, such as their new fictions, new nonfictions, graphic novels, magazines, CDs, anything like that. And this is actually an area where teens share the space with adults, and they hang out in this area a lot because this is their small section. But as you can see, there aren't any chairs. That's just one little stool in there that all the teens have to share. And you'll find teens sitting on the floor here reading books or standing up and hanging out. There just really isn't an area for them to sit down. And this is just an angle, a different angle from the same aisle. And here you can find the manga books as well as books on tape, which are just at the end of the aisle over there. Here is the section where the magazines and CDs are held for teens. This section is actually quite sad. It's very, I've noticed that it's been emptying out as things have been outdated and subscriptions have ended, and since there has not been a teen library, there's really no action to kind of fulfill and fix this area. So teens kind of shy away from it now because it's nothing of their interest anymore, unfortunately. Moving on to the college prep area, it's kind of sandwiched in between the adult fiction area, which is actually pretty terrible for the teens. They never really find this area by themselves. They're always asking librarians and clerks where they can find these books for their AP classes and their PSAT practice books, which is it's just unfortunate because the teens do come in very often to get these books for themselves. But it's just another example of how all the teen collections have been kind of sectioned off into different areas, and it's not really cohesive for the teens, and it's hard for them to find all their materials. This is a photo of the student zone, which is designated for mostly teens. Unfortunately, the person that is in charge of this area, she's there Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. And she's usually helping younger students, younger children, anywhere between the ages of 6 and 10. I have a feeling that teens kind of shy away from this area because it's not really designated for them. It's not like a quiet space that they need. It's more out in the open, and there are usually too many little children running around for them to do any kind of serious studying or practicing their math or researching anything like that. This is a shot of one of the study rooms, one of two study rooms. You will find teens hanging out in these rooms a lot. The chairs are mediocre. They're not very comfortable, but they do like going into these rooms because they are sectioned off and pretty quiet, and they have the freedom to study, or they have the freedom just to simply socialize, which you most likely will find them doing. They do utilize that whiteboard right there to do all kinds of things. I wish there was art on there. Usually teens do go in there and they make up grand masterpieces and they leave them behind for us. But there wasn't one that day. And the picture on the right is just a photo of the small tables that are behind the reference desk, which unusually you will find teens hanging out in this area. It is open to the rest of the library, and it isn't necessarily a private space, but teens do like to go right here because it's kind of like a nook for them, and they will congregate right there with their laptops and play video games together. I did want to take a photo of the outside space. You will find teens here as well, Monday through Friday, anywhere from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Kids hang out here on the benches, and they really enjoy themselves. Interestingly, I never noticed this until I took this photo, but the benches do have that bar on the inside, and I'm guessing that it's to hinder homeless people from sleeping on the benches at night. But I do notice that teens hate those bars. They're always putting like their jackets or their backpacks, and they lean against that middle bar, and it's kind of just in the way for them. And the benches they actually are not very comfortable. They're cold, and they're just kind of stiff out there. And I understand it's an outdoor bench, but you can tell that the teens kind of just make do with what they have out there. Maybe it'd be nice to see a little bit different kinds of seating outside for them, like tables with umbrellas. Maybe that would be something better for them. And the library does have a large population of teens who frequent the library Monday through Friday, anywhere from 3 to 6 or 7 p.m. They are near Narbonne High School, which is just 5 minutes away. So teens are there all the time after school. Their parents pick them up, or they just hang out to do homework and hang out with their friends. Unfortunately, we do not have a young adult librarian right now. She was transferred a few months ago, and there has not been a replacement yet. So all of the teen programs have been canceled until further notice. Things that were very popular amongst the teens, such as the teen council meetings, where teens would come and kind of give us an idea of what they wanted to do and help prep for the next program, was canceled. The acoustic jam was canceled. The acoustic jam is pretty much a monthly hangout for the teens in the large meeting room. They come in and they can play any instrument that they know how to play. They sing and they just perform and hang out with each other. It's kind of like an old school coffee shop without the coffee. And all the STEAM programs have also been canceled that are designated for the teens as well. And teens are welcome in the children's programs, but you don't really see teens going into the programs, as I'm sure teens don't like it. They're with a bunch of little kids, and it's just not really their area to be in at the time, and they know it. And here is a picture of the library, the main area of the library. I wanted to show this picture because you can see all of the different types of seating that there are in the library. You have the computer chairs that are swivelly, and those are actually the most popular. I'm guessing because they slide around and you can easily move them, and they have good back support. So teens usually take those away from the computers, or they kind of scoot them all next to each other. They don't really like those wooden chairs. Those wooden chairs are very uncomfortable, no matter how curved and swanky they might look. And the second most popular chair are the chairs along the left, the brown angled chairs. Those are more like hangout chairs for them, since they're more relaxed and they're a little bit wider. So sometimes you might find two kids sitting in those chairs, which is kind of interesting. And really, I have not seen kids sit on the floor, but I'm sure if we had different kinds of seating, they would just, they would take advantage of it and make it their own. And in the next picture, I wanted to show, it's a contrast to this one. This one is just an everyday picture. You can see maybe 6 to 7 adults in here. And this was taken during an hour when kids were in school. And this is usually what it looks like at night after kids have gone home. So the next photo is actually a photo of a lot of teens. This is probably taken about 4:30. I think I took it around 4:30. And so we have lots of teens doing homework, lots of teens hanging out. There are teens on the computers, and I wish I would have taken a photo of the kids outside. There were quite a few of them outside on the benches at the time, and there were actually a lot of teens in the study room. They were celebrating a birthday that day, and they had brought in a paper cake, as they knew that a real cake was not allowed in the library, but they did celebrate someone's birthday that day, and I wish I would have taken a photo of it, but I didn't. So this is just an example of how the library has been taken over by teens, and I hope that this was a good little tour just to see how the teen spaces were in the Harbor Gateway Library, and thanks for taking a look.